Good morning and welcome to Cityline. It is great to be in your home. Today is the 13th of April, and if you miss spring, it's just a blink of an eye out there. This morning it was sunny and the cherry blossoms were blooming, and I thought, it's a good spring day. We have a great show ahead of us. Later on in the hour, we'll be talking with Stan from the UW, and he's here to talk about dog bites. And if you don't know what dog bites are, you're about ready to find out. Also, the 4th annual citywide litter-free 253 event will be here to talk about their event coming up and how you can get involved with that. South Sound Sustainability Expo will be in the house to talk about some of the programs they have. And then with me right now are two very, very familiar faces. They have become, the face of the Junior Daffodil Parade very easily. Please join me in welcoming Tim Church. You are the Junior Daffodil Parade committee member, and you brought with you Mr. Gary Grindley as well. Welcome back, both of you.
Well, it's nice to be back.
Thank you. Yeah. It's great to be here.
This is the first time we've had you back in the studio since COVID.
Yes.
It is so wonderful that the Junior Daffodil Parade, yes, is back this year.
That's our theme. We're back.
We're back. There it is. So before we get into just the nuts and bolts of that day and all the things that we can't possibly miss, I'd like each of you to tell our audience how long you've been involved with the Junior Daffodil Parade and why you still do it. So Tim, since you're closest, you go first.
It's been kind of startling for me to really think about it because I got involved the year it moved to Proctor. It had been downtown and on MLK for a while and moved to Proctor in 1991. And my aunt was part of the business district. She owned a business there, and I was working in television at the time. And she asked me to volunteer and get involved, and I've been involved every year since.
So how many years total?
I think I'm over 30 years now.
Wow, 30 years. Why do you keep doing this after 30 years?
It's a ton of fun. I really love it. Actually, right after Christmas, I started thinking, okay, the Junior Daffodil Parade's coming up. I've got to start getting in my head and think about it. So I've absolutely missed it the last few years, so I'm thrilled that it's back this year.
I love that. Mr. Gary, how many years have you been involved with the parade?
Well, like Tim, the first year that it happened, I had just heard about it. And I thought, well, I'm going to do something for the kids. So right next to where the parade was starting is the church I belong to, Mason United Methodist Church.
Yes.
So I convinced some people, let's open our doors. And I set up a snack booth out in front of the church. And I had cocoa and juice and cookies for the kids. And it poured rain that first year.
Oh.
Unbelievable when it rained on the parade. But we invited everybody in and waited inside until the parade started, then they could go out and walk the parade route. So that was kind of my first start. And when that happened, I went to the committee and said, hey, I'd like to help you guys out. Let's use the church for registration and safety rooms. And the next year, my son asked me to build him a float for the parade so it could ride on a float. So I thought about it, and I thought with the church, I'm going to build him a chariot.
Oh, yes!
He got a ride on the chariot, and I talked to two pastors at the time to put on their black robes and pull the chariot through the parade route. So that started my float building for the next 25 years. So.
Wow, that is impressive. So, Gary, give us a little bit of history on the Junior Daffodil Parade in the sense of how long it's been in existence and what makes it different from the Grand Floral.
Well, this will be its 62nd year.
Wow.
32 years now in the Proctor district. And like he said, it did start downtown. It did go to the MLK way for a while. Mm-hmm. And it was on hiatus. The people that were doing it just said, we're done, we can't do it. So it got resurrected by a bunch of business people in the Proctor district.
As we're seeing here, yes.
And the Proctor district has totally supported it over the years. And it started out with about 700 participants the first year, and it slowly grew, and we've usually, until COVID hit, we were running about 3,500 participants in the parade.
Wow.
And as you can see on the picture, we have 8,000 to 9,000 people would come out and watch it every year.
Oh, and there's the court.
Yes. So it's something that's, as with a lot of things, it is part of the Daffodil Festival. It's part of the Grand Floral Parade was a week ago, and now we're coming up with the Junior Daffodil Parade. We're hoping for better weather. That's why we push it back so far. So.
Yes. So let's talk about the theme, and when is this year's parade?
Well, the theme is we're back. In
There
bloom,
it
so
is.
to bit.
We're
because
back.
we never, honestly, when COVID hit, I wasn't sure if it was the demise of the parade or not, because once you shut something down, it's like pulling teeth to get it back together again.
Yes.
And this has been a struggle to get this parade on this year. Everything kind of went against us. We weren't sure about funding. Thank goodness the city opened up some grant funding and we were able to secure one of those grants. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to afford to put on the parade this year.
Go City of Tacoma.
Thank the city of Tacoma for that. So.
Absolutely. So Tim, as we see on the video of all the people walking through the parade, we've got the Highland Pipers, we saw some karate, you see so much the Daffodil royalty comes through. Is registration for this year's parade still open?
You know, it is wrapped up now.
Okay.
It's just wrapped up, and it's the parade isn't going to be as big as it's been in past years, but to me, it's kind of like when, you know, your lawnmower's in the garage and you haven't used it for a while, and it takes a little more to start it up and get it going. That's, I think, where we're at. So while the parade's a little smaller this year, we're confident that we're going to get people out and they're going to see how much fun it is, and it's going to grow again from here.
They're going to remember. Speaking of lawnmowers, I live every year for Metro Parks and their lawnmowers. Or that, is it Metro Parks that does it, Gary?
No, it was one of the daycares.
It was one of the daycares. That was the dads in the daycare and the lawnmowers. Okay. It's the best. Is there a cost to be in the parade?
There is. It's relatively small. You know, some of our groups sometimes can be, you know, a family of 2 or 3 people, and then you might have a dog 4-H group with 100 people and 150 dogs or something like that. So for the smaller groups, it's really minimal. For the larger groups, it could get close to $100 or so, but with a larger group of 100 people, you're talking $1 a person, basically.
Right. Just pay for that footprint and keep marching down the street.
Yeah, well worth it.
Gary, let's talk about the Junior Daffodil Parade in terms of where it's held and what is the parade route. So be real specific with us.
We because of logistics keep changing on us over the years. We are now able to basically stage all of the groups on the Mason Middle School playfield. They did a rebuild of it during the COVID break. And now with the track and the field, we can actually stage everybody out there. So we feel a little more secure and safe that way. The actual parade will start on 28th and Proctor.
Okay.
It heads south down to 26th Street. It has the, as for the junior middle school bands that'll be walking, that is their biggest challenge because they have to do a left turn and go down 26 to Wheelock Library there at Washington. So it's just a 4-block parade. It goes real fast. The kids can make it. The grandparents can make it. Everybody can walk in it. So
I love it. And who is this year's Grand Marshal?
We have, uniquely, we have the Blue Mouse.
From the Blue Mouse.
From the Blue Mouse, because the Blue Mouse Theater is 100 years old this year, and we're celebrating their anniversary.
That is poetry. I love that. So the Blue Mouse will be holding the banner and kicking off the parade.
Yes.
Yes. And if you don't know what the Blue Mouse Theater is, you're in for a treat. So definitely check it out while you're in Proctor. Tim, are there any vehicles in the parade? Because Gary mentioned that the second year he made a float, and I don't know if that float was motorized or not.
Yep, pretty much no. There's, you know, that's one of the charms of the parade. You know, you've got these groups, young kids who are marching in their band for the first time. So it's a nice, safe atmosphere, and not having to worry about vehicles, I think, is part of the appeal. You know, Proctor's kind of tight, and so it's really fun and nice to have a parade where People have room to move. Sometimes the kids in the middle of it decide to run over and say hi to Grandma and Grandpa in the middle of the parade and just run back in. And it's really part of the allure of coming to a kids' parade.
Yes.
So no vehicles unless somebody is building their own little pull around wagon, maybe a
right.
wagon. That would be about
We'll do a wagon.
Yeah.
You know, skates, rollerblades, all those things are allowed.
Lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Those kind
as
of
long as
things.
they're not running.
That's right. So, Tim, where can we find the most up-to-date information about the parade in terms of weather forecast, in terms of time that it starts, times that it ends, the actual route that we can look up? Will the Starbucks on the corner be open that day?
That is important.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Gary and I get there early, so I hope
I
the
bet.
Starbucks on the corner is open. Well, we have a website, juniordaffodilparade.com. And of course, if you can't remember that, you can just Google Junior Daffodil Parade 2023 and you'll find information about it. We also have a Facebook site that is being updated, so it's pretty easy to find information out there. Just remember, it's Saturday at 10 o'clock, and get there a little early and bring some chairs and maybe an umbrella, although you asked about the weather. Gary and I promise great weather.
Yeah,
Well, you heard it first, right here. You promised.
If it's not, talk to Gary. He'll be easy to find.
And Gary will be nowhere to be found.
Yep.
So, Gary, if I want to volunteer after seeing all of this, who do I contact?
There is a contact number on our website. And we are desperately, even today, still looking for volunteers to help out on the parade.
Okay.
I'm not going to, I don't want to list the number because
That's
I'll
all
probably
right.
get it wrong right now. But yeah, the number's on our website. We need extra bodies. Trying to resurrect, as I call, a parade 2 years after it's been over. A lot of those volunteers have moved on to other projects.
So
and
come back.
It's hard to get them back.
Yeah.
And we're talking, we need help for about 2-3 hours on a Saturday morning.
That's
If you
right.
can come around and even stand around on a corner just to keep an eye out for the kids is the
We'll
big
take
thing.
you.
Yeah, we'll take you.
Okay, real quick, thank yous. We have about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Who do you need to thank?
Tina Marie Query has kind of been turned into our head coordinator, and without her work on it this year, I don't know what we would have
All
done.
right. And anybody who's touched this parade, thank you very much. I will see the two of you on the parade route as TV Tacoma will be there filming it and, of course, giving all the latest updates. So you two, thank goodness you came back, and I can't wait to see you on the route.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
You're welcome. When we come back, we will have the South Sound Sustainability Expo in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back after this quick break.